Discover the incredible journey of a 9-language black girl. Millionaire's laughter turned to awe. In the heart of a bustling inner-city neighborhood, 10-year-old Maya danced through the cracked pavement, her laughter echoing against the lively symphony of street vendors calling out their daily specials. She was not just another kid in the neighborhood, she was a radiant burst of energy, her hair bouncing with every step, her eyes sparkling like the sunlight that pierced through the towering buildings. Maya had a secret gift that made her feel special, a gift that let her tell stories, connect, and dive into the worlds of 9 different languages. But little did she know, her world was about to collide with harsh realities. One sunlit day, the entire school buzzed with excitement. A millionaire, known for his charity but infamous for his dismissive ways, was visiting to promote a new learning initiative. He walked in like he owned the place, his tailored suit and sharp eyes scrutinizing everyone. When Maya spotted him, her heart fluttered with hope. She could impress him, perhaps even earn a nod of approval. With a bright smile, she shared her extraordinary talent with her classmates and teachers, her voice ringing with pride. But what happened next shattered her spirit. A multilingual child from this neighborhood? Really? He sneered, laughter erupting from his lips like a storm crashing through the quiet. That moment stung like a wasp, leaving a mark far deeper than any wound. Maya felt the weight of his ridicule pressing down, but something fierce flickered within her. That was it. She would show everyone that her gift mattered, even if they couldn't see it. She set her sights on a prestigious language competition, a chance to push through the cruel shadows of doubt that darkened her dreams. Her mother, working tirelessly as a nurse, had always taught her the importance of resilience. When Maya confessed about the competition, her mother's smile dimmed, torn between encouragement and the fear of disappointment. But amidst that struggle, a bond formed, a love so fierce that it ignited a spark within Maya. Late-night study sessions became her ritual. She pored over vocabulary, broke down grammar rules, and practiced pronunciation until her tongue felt sore. The weight of her aspirations grew heavy, but each moment brought her closer to proving that dreams were worth fighting for. She could hear her mother's voice in her ear, reminding her of the strength within their community, always rising together, even against adversity. The day of the competition arrived, emotions swirling like the autumn leaves around her. As she stepped onto the stage, her heart pounded a thunderous echo that filled the stadium. The millionaire was seated in the front row, his past laughter haunting her. But she held her head high, ready to prove every scoffer wrong. As she began to speak in her chosen language, a hush fell over the crowd, anticipation thick in the air, punctuated by Maya's determined breaths. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just as her voice flourished, she stumbled, fear creeping up her spine like a cold draft. Would she collapse under the weight of mockery? That moment stretched into eternity, hope tangled with fear. Could she regain her composure and silence the laughter that once rang out like a war cry? The audience waited, breathless. In this pivotal moment, could Maya transform ridicule into awe, shattering every barrier, igniting her community's dreams? Maya's breath hitched as silence wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Doubt threatened to creep back in, whispering that maybe she wasn't ready. But she took a moment, just a heartbeat, focusing on the faces in the crowd, the familiar ones that had seen her grow, and the unfamiliar ones that now looked at her with something she hadn't felt in a long time, curiosity. With a fierce determination bubbling up from deep inside, Maya straightened her shoulders and summoned the courage that had brought her this far. She remembered the countless hours spent studying, the excited voice of her mother encouraging her even on the toughest nights. "You've got this, Maya," her mother would say. "Let your voice be heard." With a deep inhale, she shifted her focus back to the present. The words flowed from her in the language she had chosen to represent her journey, rich with emotion and an undeniable rhythm. The beauty of her articulation danced around the auditorium, captivating the crowd. She could see eyebrows raise and a few heads nodding along. The millionaire's smirk faltered, replaced by a look of intrigue. For the first time, it felt as if her voice was more powerful than any laughter, a force that captivated attention and questioned perceptions. Maya poured her heart into every sentence, wrapping stories of her community around her performance. She spoke of dreams, of resilience, of shared laughter and sorrow. Each word she uttered became a thread, weaving a tapestry of connection that bridged gaps built over years of misunderstanding. She could feel a shift, the energy in the room began to change, the audience leaned in, captivated. Whispers started to ripple through the seats. "Did you hear her? She's amazing." Which gave Maya a thrill, each compliment igniting new flames of confidence. Her heart surged with hope, each beat stronger than the last, drowning out the echoes of earlier laughter. Just as Maya began to feel invincible, the world around her stilled. Her confidence momentarily wavered as she glanced at the front row, where the millionaire sat, brow furrowed, evidently battling his own rising emotions. She had never seen his expression shift like that before, from derision to something resembling admiration. But then a slip of paper floated down from the balcony seats above. It landed softly at her feet, breaking her concentration. She picked it up, her fingers trembling. It read, "You'll never be enough." Instantly, her heart sank, the weight of the words crumbling the confidence she had built. In that instant, everything around her faded, and she stood alone in a sea of doubt. The crowd began to murmur as the paper fluttered to the ground, but Maya felt a fire igniting again. Her voice, though shaky, didn't falter. She looked straight into the audience, eyes blazing, and reminded them and herself that in her neighborhood, they always lifted each other up. Her words transcended the negativity. This was her moment, but somewhere, deep in the back of her mind, another question lingered: could she keep pushing through the feelings of inadequacy? Would she truly have the power to change everything, not just for herself but for those who looked up to her? As she finished her speech, the auditorium roared with applause. Maya stood there, heart racing, filled with a mix of triumph and uncertainty. She had transformed laughter into respect, but would it be enough? Maya smiled, soaking in the moment, not yet realizing that her journey was far from over. What awaited her beyond this stage could change her life forever, and the realization of that possibility sent shivers down her spine. What would happen when she stepped off the stage? Would the world really see her? As the tumult of applause roared around her, a feeling of disbelief washed over Maya. She had just shared her soul with the world, and it felt like nothing short of a small miracle. Slowly, she became aware of the room settling, the thunder of claps receding into whispers. She looked around, drinking in the smiles and nods, eyes wide with genuine admiration, something she had never known from those in positions of power, but the slip of paper still lingered in her mind, casting a shadow over the joy she was trying to embrace. It was haunting, mocking her attempts to rise above, a reminder of all the times she had been made to feel small. When she finally stepped down from the stage, her legs felt like lead. She noticed her friends and family, faces lit with pride, rushing toward her. They enveloped her in hugs, their excitement tangible. Her best friend Sam's eyes gleamed with happiness, pride spilling over. "You were incredible, Maya. I've never seen you shine like that." It felt amazing, but what if it wasn't enough? Maya replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "Are you kidding? You changed the room. Look at the billionaire. He was actually listening." Sam gestured toward the front row, where the rich man sat, deep in conversation with his assistant, a frown replaced by an engaged expression. The thrill of it was briefly overshadowed by doubt, though. What did it mean for her, really? Maya squeezed her eyes shut for a moment, trying to push the nagging thoughts aside. "Maybe I can start something," she said slowly, letting the idea roll around in her head. "Maybe I can take this chance and really do something for my community." As she moved through the crowd, shaking hands and accepting congratulations, she spotted the millionaire standing off to the side, a contemplative look on his face, studying her. His presence ignited another wave of questions in her mind. Should she thank him for being there, despite the initial mockery? What would she even say? But before she could ponder any longer, he caught her eye, and she took a deep breath, summoning her courage again. The crowd parted as she approached him. "Hi," she managed, her voice steady, masking the tremor that threatened to betray her nerves. "Maya, right?" he replied, his tone surprisingly warm. "Your speech was compelling. You've got quite a gift. I never expected this reaction." "What do you mean?" She raised an eyebrow, feeling a flicker of hope. "The way you brought your community to life, made them feel real. I think you have a voice the world needs to hear." His gaze softened. "I want to help. Maybe we could work together." The walls of doubt inched up again, but curiosity twinkled in her heart like bright stars against a dark night. Why would he want to help someone like her? Why? She asked, her voice more vulnerable than she intended. "Because you deserve a shot," he said, his serious gaze unwavering. "And I think you could do great things." Maya's heart raced anew, torn between disbelief and excitement. Could this really be happening? Was she willing to trust this seemingly changed man and his offer? The applause still echoed in her ears, a testament to potential and possibility. But in this moment, she faced an even larger question: what kind of difference could she make if she accepted help from someone she had once seen as an enemy? As she pondered his offer, the crowd buzzed around her, filled with energy and excitement. Outside of that stage, life continued onward, shifting and swirling, and Maya stood at a precipice. Would she take that leap? Would she find the strength to embrace this newfound opportunity, or would the fear of inadequacy hold her back? In that moment, her future felt as vast and uncertain as the sky itself. The choices before her could shape not only her destiny but also that of everyone she cared for. Maya took a deep breath, feeling every pulse of that moment, the thrill and uncertainty mingling into something transformative. With determination, she looked into the millionaire's eyes, the tide of her life shifting once again. Would she say yes? Maya felt the weight of the moment compress her chest, a mix of hope swirling with hesitation. She focused on the man before her, the billionaire with his sharp suit and even sharper gaze, as if he could read her soul. What lay behind his offer? Was it genuine, or just an attempt to score points with the community? I don't know," she stammered, the words tumbling out. "I've never been in a position like this. I don't have experience with big projects or partnerships." He nodded, clearly expecting her uncertainty. "That's exactly why this could work. You're not just another voice, you have authenticity. Your story matters, and stories are what drive change." Her heart flickered with something, an ember of courage battling against years of self-doubt. "You really think I can do this?" "Not only do I think it, Maya, I know it." He stepped closer, lowering his voice as if creating a bubble just between them. "I've seen plenty of talent in my life, but what you have is special. You connect on a level that people in power often forget. That's why I want to assist you." Struggling to swallow her fear, she forced herself to maintain eye contact. "And what's in it for you?" He smiled, a knowing smile that had both warmth and an edge. "I want to invest in projects that bring real change. Your passion can turn those ideas into action. Helping you aligns with my vision." There it was, the offer sparkled like sunlight filtering through leaves, lush and promising. But the chill of skepticism remained clung to her heart. Part of her still wondered if this was too good to be true. Would accepting his help make her beholden to him in ways she couldn't predict? "Maya." Sam's voice broke through her uncertainty as he bounded over, eyes wide with excitement. "Did he propose a partnership? This is insane. You have to do it." Before she could respond, the billionaire stepped back slightly, allowing Sam's energy to unfold. His attention shifted back to the crowd-filled room. People were still buzzing with energy, hope sparkled around them as if the walls were pulsing with potential. "Look," he said after a moment, "take your time. This is a big decision. But remember, opportunities like this often don't stick around for long." As he turned to make his way back into the crowd, Maya's emotions were an unpredictable tide pulling her in different directions. "What if I fail?" she whispered half to herself, the words barely forming in the air. "You won, Sam assured quickly, sensing her doubts. "You're strong, and you've got so much to give. Plus, taking risks is part of success, right?" He flashed her an encouraging grin, infused with all the confidence and love of a friend who believed in her more than she believed in herself. Taking a deep breath, she turned back to the crowd, but her eyes remained fixed on the billionaire's retreating figure. A tiny flame of possibility flickered in her heart, battling the chill of doubt. What could happen if she stepped forward? What new paths might unfold? Yet, the fear of taking a leap into the unknown still loomed large. Just then, a slight tug on her sleeve pulled her back. "Maya." It was her little sister, Lila, looking up at her with wide, innocent eyes that saw only the good. "Are you going to talk to him more?" "I want to help, too." The question hit her like a jolt. Help. Wouldn't that be the key? Not just help from the billionaire, but help from her community, her family. Strength in numbers. Maya felt a swell of determination mixed with resolve. "Yeah," she said slowly but firmly, "I think I will." With hope lighting her way, she turned towards where the billionaire stood now talking to someone else. She felt a rush of exhilaration course through her. Was she really ready to navigate this partnership? And just when she thought she had made up her mind, a voice broke through the din, calling out a name. Not hers, but one that sent a chill down her spine. Maya. She turned, and her blood ran cold at the sight of the figure striding through the crowd with purpose, a slip of paper crumpled tight in their fist. What were they doing here? And why did her heart race more out of fear than excitement this time? It felt as if her past had come alive, bringing a whirlwind of complications that threatened to pull her back under. The figure stopped just a few feet away, their presence commanding immediate attention, drawing the eyes of those nearby. It was Kevin, a name she hadn't heard in years but one that echoed memories not easily forgotten. Even after all this time, he still had the power to make her stomach churn. Maya, he said again, his voice clear above the murmurs of the crowd, the slip of paper in his hand crumpling further as he balled it tightly. We need to talk. The intensity in his gaze caught her off guard, a mix of regret and urgency flickering across his features. Maya felt the world around her fade just for a moment. Sam shifted beside her, uncertainty written on his face, while Lila clutched Maya's sleeve, her innocent confusion palpable. Kevin stepped closer, the air crackling between them. Please, he said, softer now, glancing at the onlookers as if they were intruding on something private. I didn't want to show up like this, but I had no choice. Maya's heart raced. She hadn't seen him since that night. The one that had changed everything. The very reason she had built walls around her heart. What was he doing here now, at this fragile moment when she was beginning to find her footing? Can we just find somewhere quiet to talk? He pressed, urgency coloring his words. I know it looks bad. I know I messed up, but I'm here to explain. I didn't come just to stir up trouble. All these thoughts crashed together in her mind. So many choices unfolded before her. She could refuse him, walk away, keep her hard-won peace intact. Or she could let him in. But what would that mean? Why should I listen to you? She asked, her voice steadier than she felt. You were never here when I needed you. The hurt in her words twisted something deep within her. She never wanted to feel this exposed, especially not in front of the crowd. But Kevin's expression softened, his shoulders dropping slightly, filled with something almost like regret. I know, he replied quietly. And I wish I could go back and change it all. But I can't. I just wanted to tell you I've changed. Things are different now. I thought about you every day, and I never meant to hurt you." Her instincts screamed at her to shut him out, but the sincerity in his voice anchored her to the spot. Lila had shifted her gaze back and forth between the two, sensing the tension but not understanding it. "Let's just," Sam interjected, stepping closer to Maya. "Let's talk about this later. You don't owe him anything right now." Kevin's expression darkened slightly, the tension palpable. "No, it's important. Maya, please, I really think we could collaborate." The word hung in the air, a possibility swirling into the chaos of unreconciled feelings. Her mind reeled. Was he here to disrupt her new beginnings? Or to help create the change he hadn't been able to support before? Could she really afford to take a chance on someone who had once let her down? Maya glanced at Sam, who wore a look of protective concern. And then there was Lila, her sister's small hand still tugging at her sleeve, looking up with hope-filled eyes. "Tell me what you want, Kevin," she said finally, her resolve rising despite the chaos inside her. As he stepped forward, his voice low but earnest, she felt that familiar flicker of uncertainty clawing back at her. But she also felt something else, a doubt mixed with anticipation, blooming like the evening sky as twilight descended. Was she willing to embrace a past that threatened to pull her under, or was this the moment she would find out how far she could really go? And just as he began to speak, the crumpled paper slipped from his hand, fluttering to the ground like a forgotten promise, landing between them, and that was not the only thing left unresolved. What lay within those words he was about to share could change everything. The paper lay still on the ground, a silent witness to the tension crackling in the air. Kevin's eyes darted quickly from the crumpled letter to Maya, urging her to see beyond the initial anger that flared inside her. "Maya, wait!" he called out, desperately stepping forward. She instinctively recoiled, the memories flashing back hurtful words, bitter arguments, a friendship turned sour. But beneath the anger stirred confusion too. Wasn't there more to this? What had happened to him while they had been apart? "Just pick it up," Lila whispered, pulling at Maya's sleeve again. "You might want to know." The sincerity in her little sister's voice cut through Maya's defenses, reminding her of the hope she'd been striving to hold on to. Maya sighed, glancing at Sam, whose expression was one of concern and fear for her heart. "Are you sure?" she asked him, her voice nearly breaking. She wanted to be strong, capable of leaving the past behind. But what if that very past held something important? "It's your call," Sam replied softly, his eyes reminding her that this was her life to navigate, not his. With a mixture of reluctance and determination, she bent to pick up the crumpled paper, the weight of her decision settling like a stone in her stomach. She could feel Kevin's gaze on her, a blend of regret and hope as he awaited her response. Lifting it to eye level, she unfolded the paper carefully. Her eyes scanned the lines hastily written, recognizing Kevin's familiar scrawl. "What's this?" she murmured, her heart racing as she read. The words tumbled together like a confession, a promise to change, a commitment to be present, and a wish to rebuild their connection with honesty. "Why didn't you just tell me this before?" she asked sharply, her voice trembling. "Because I was afraid," he admitted. "Afraid you'd turn me away for good, and maybe you should. But I had to try, Maya. If I didn't, I'd regret it for the rest of my life." Regret. The word echoed in the space between them, pulling Maya back to all those nights spent wondering if he ever thought of her at all. "You think a letter can fix everything?" "You've got to be joking," she replied, her voice heavy with disbelief. Kevin's face fell as he continued, "It's not just about the letter. It's about me being here, showing up, making an effort, admitting how wrong I was. I thought maybe if I just didn't show up that you'd be better off, but I couldn't fool myself any longer. I care about you, and I'm ready to prove it. I'm ready to work on this." As she looked into his eyes, the vulnerability within her wrestled with the doubts still circling in her mind. She wanted to stand her ground, to make him understand the depth of pain he had caused. But at the same time, there was that nagging question: could this be a chance for them both to grow? Suddenly, Lila's tugging at her sleeve took on a new urgency. "Maya, let him talk. You always said you wanted to be brave." Brave, huh? Maya muttered under her breath, glancing back at the crowd still watching them, their eyes wide with anticipation. It felt like the pressure of the world was on her shoulders. With a decision igniting within her, she took a breath and nodded. Okay, let us talk. But this is just a start, Kevin. You don't get to toy with my heart again without proving this is real. Relief washed over his features, and she noticed how much older he looked, how much life had changed him. Thank you, he whispered, a flicker of hope igniting in his gaze. As they stepped further away from the prying eyes, instinctively moving toward the quieter corner of the park, Maya felt the familiar weight of her past tugging at her again. Did she truly have the strength to confront her fears and consider a future inspired by that past? What lay ahead could either redefine her or lock her in chains again. Whatever the outcome, one thing was clear: this conversation would lead to more than just words. It could change their lives completely. And with every step deeper into the unknown, the question loomed large: could the past truly inform a brighter future, or would it only serve as a haunting reminder? As they found a secluded bench, the chatter of the park faded into the background. It felt almost surreal, like they had stepped into another world, a pocket of time where the rest of the universe didn't exist. Maya sat down, her heart beating against her ribcage like a drum echoing through the silence. What now? She asked, her voice steady but laced with uncertainty. She had opened the door just a crack, and now she wasn't sure if she was ready for what lay beyond. We need to talk, Kevin said, taking a seat beside her, his posture tense but hopeful. He leaned forward, hands clasped tightly between his knees like a man ready to plunge into deep waters. I know you have every right to be angry. I hurt you, and I can't take that back. Maya nodded slowly, feeling the emotions swirl. You left, Kevin. It's not just that you were gone, it's that you chose to leave everything behind: our friendship, our trust. Her voice shook, and she looked away, gathering herself. How do I know you won't disappear again when things get tough? I can't promise it'll be easy, he replied, his tone earnest. But I can promise I'll be here. I've been working on myself. Seeing a therapist, trying to understand why I pushed people away, especially you. His eyes held hers, firm and sincere, revealing the layers of pain he'd been through. Maya bit her lip, feeling the wave of emotion spiral again. Did she really have the strength to let him back in? Yet, a flicker of something deep inside urged her to probe further. What does that even mean? Did you get any answers? Kevin took a deep breath, searching for the right words. I didn't want to love anyone because I was scared of losing them. I thought that if I separated myself first, I wouldn't get hurt again. But leaving you, it hurt more than anything. I realize that I'm stronger with you, not without you. What makes you think I can just trust you again? She challenged, needing him to see how much was at stake. Because I'm ready to put in the work, he answered. I don't want to be that guy who runs away. I can't keep pretending that it's easier that way. His voice softened, and he added, You changed me, Maya. That's why I came back. It was you all along. The air around them grew thick as the vulnerability between them deepened. Maya felt the stirrings of hope, mixed with skepticism. Could he truly understand the weight of his actions? Was that regret real, or was it just a ploy to win her back? A sudden voice broke the tension. Lila had scampered over. You guys look serious. What are you talking about? Maya shot her sister a half smile, but it faltered. Just grown-up stuff, she said, ruffling Lila's hair as she wished for a distraction to ease the mounting pressure. Lila plopped down beside her, eyes wide with curiosity. I want to hear. Did you two say sorry yet? Yes, sort of, Kevin responded, caught off guard by the little girl's nonchalant honesty. Oh. Well, then I'm sure you can fix everything. Lila chirped, as if offering a child's cure for a broken heart. Maya couldn't help but chuckle slightly, her heart swelling at her sister's unwavering faith. Yet, she felt tugged between wanting to believe Lila's innocence and fearing the realities of adult regrets. Lila turned to Kevin. If you hurt my sister again, I'll punch you in the face. Maya snorted at her sister's fierce protectiveness, but the moment of levity didn't last. She knew it would take more than words and childish threats to rebuild what was broken. Returning her focus to Kevin, she said, "So, if this is to mean anything at all, you have to show me. Show us. It can't just be about the past." "Okay." He nodded, his expression serious. "What do we start with?" Her heart raced again, a mix of excitement and trepidation swirling inside her as she pondered the possibilities. She felt the gravity of their intertwined destinies whisper in her ears. "Let us start with honesty," she finally declared. "What are you really afraid of?" As she leaned in, anticipating his answer, she felt as though the ground beneath them was shifting like they were standing on the precipice of something big. Would this journey in honesty be the foundation they needed to build anew, or the end of a painful chapter? With the questions hovering in the air, the next truth felt like it could either tear them apart completely or bring them together forever. Kevin's eyes widened. For a moment, silence enveloped them like a heavy blanket, thick with unspoken words and raw emotions. He knew what she was asking, that deep, painful vulnerability that he shied away from for too long. The question hung there, heavy yet liberating. "I'm afraid," he started, his voice trembling slightly. "I'm afraid of not being enough. Not for you, not for anyone." He glanced away, the weight of his confession visible in the twitch of his jaw. "When I left, I thought I was protecting you from becoming attached to someone who couldn't be there, but it turns out, I was just running." Maya felt an ache in her chest, unable to mask the sympathy blooming there. "But Kevin, running away isn't the answer. You have to face your fears, not hide from them." She locked her gaze onto his, trying to convey the importance of honesty with every fiber of her being. "I know that now," he said softly, his brows knitted in concentration. "But what if facing them means losing you forever?" Lila, still with them and oblivious to the heavy undertones of the conversation, slid closer and rested her head on Maya's shoulder. "You won't lose her if you try." She piped up, her voice filled with innocent assurance. Maya smiled at her sister, the warmth of Lila's presence soothing. But simultaneously, she felt a knot tighten in her stomach at the thought of opening old wounds. "This isn't just about trying, Kevin. It's about proving you can stay present in my life, in our lives." He nodded, almost imperceptibly, but she saw the flicker of determination in his eyes. "Then let us start with the truth. No more hiding, no more running. I want to be here, really here." His voice held a sincerity that resonated deep within her. "What do you need me to do to show you I mean it?" Maya hesitated, weighing her options. There was a delicate balance between wanting him back and protecting herself from future hurt. "Show me you can handle the heavy stuff. We can start with small steps, but you have to be all in. No wavering." "I'm in," he said, fierce and genuine, and she felt her heart race. What if she began, the words flowing suddenly, "You meet Lila's friends. Show them you're serious about being around, not just in fleeting moments." Kevin's brow furrowed. "You want me to meet your family? Your friends?" "Yes," she affirmed, steeling herself. "It means committing to more than just me. You have to be willing to step into my world with all of its chaos and laughter and love." He swallowed hard but held her gaze. "I'll do it. I'll show you both that I'm ready to change." Lila's little clap broke the tension, and Maya smiled at her sister, who looked capped with enthusiasm. "Can we go to the park with them after? I want to show you how cool my friends are." Maya chuckled but couldn't shake off the apprehensive feeling knotting in her stomach again. Could Kevin truly handle this world filled with laughter and complexities? She caught his eye, waiting for him to affirm the commitment. There was a moment of silence, thick with anticipation. Kevin took a deep breath, then broke into a slight smile. "Let us do it. I'm ready." Maya felt the warmth of hope beneath her skin and realized that the journey ahead wouldn't be easy. But if they were going to navigate these waters together, she had to allow their past pain to guide them, not define them. As they gathered themselves to leave the secluded bench, Maya felt the urgent sting of a truth lay unspoken in the air. She lifted her head to meet Kevin's gaze. And if things start to feel familiar again, remember that real change isn't just a promise. It's a journey. He nodded knowingly, the weight of their burgeoning trust swirling as they walked side by side, hand in hand. But even as they forged ahead, Maya felt that they had only taken the first few steps into a much deeper way of understanding. Would they really be able to navigate through the crowded world of their past and present, with uncertainty coupled with lingering hope? Maya pondered what revealing truths were still lurking beneath the surface, truths that could either bind them closer or threaten to tear them apart again. The park was alive with the kind of energy only a bright afternoon could summon. Lila bounced ahead, her laughter intertwining with the shouts and cheers of other children. Kevin and Maya followed, a few steps behind, the air thick with anticipation and unspoken worries. Maya felt her heart racing, torn between excitement and anxiety. Would this really work? Maybe it'll be fine, Maya reassured herself, glancing sideways at Kevin. He wore a facade of confidence, but she could see the uncertainty flickering behind his eyes. He'll be great, she thought. He just needs to believe it. As they approached a big cluster of kids, Lila turned around and waved them over enthusiastically. Come on. Meet my friends. Her eyes sparkled with eagerness. Kevin took a deep breath. You think they'll like me? He asked, half joking but mostly serious. Maya reached out, squeezing his hand. Just be yourself. That's all they need to see. With that, they joined Lila and her group, a mix of laughter and untamed energy. The kids were playing tag, the vibrant colors of their clothes flashing in the sunlight as they dashed back and forth. Maya felt a familiar warmth settle in her chest as she watched Lila introduce Kevin. This is my sister's friend. His name is Kevin. Lila shouted, clearly proud. Suddenly, it was like someone switched on the spotlight. The kids turned their attention towards Kevin, eyes wide with curiosity. He smiled uncertainly, giving a little wave. One bold girl stepped forward, her hands on her hips. Can you run fast? Kevin chuckled, a little embarrassed, and replied, I can try. The kids erupted into cheers, and before Maya could blink, Kevin found himself thrust into a game of tag, laughter bubbling around him like champagne. Maya watched as he crouched low, a playful glint in his eyes, the weight of seriousness momentarily forgotten. It was a sight she hadn't seen in years, a glimpse of the boy she once knew, a boy who ran toward challenges rather than away from them. Maya's heart filled with a mix of pride and hope. Maybe today was a turning point. Maybe he was ready to embrace this, to embrace them. As the game continued, Maya mingled with the other parents nearby, exchanging smiles and casual conversations. Every so often, she glanced back at Kevin, noticing the gradual ease that transformed his demeanor. The tight lines on his face softened, and laughter spilled from his lips more freely, but then reality hit. What if this was just a fleeting moment? What if he couldn't sustain it? She shook her head, refusing to let doubt creep in, reminding herself that the journey was just beginning. Later, as the sun began to dip lower in the sky, the children collapsed onto the grass, panting from excitement. Kevin flopped down next to Lila, and they both stared at the sky, a million thoughts swirling. Maya approached, kneeling next to them. Did you have fun? Yeah. Lila exclaimed, a big grin spreading across her face. Kevin's the best. Okay, don't let it get to my head, Kevin laughed, the sound rich and genuine. Maya could see he was more than just present, he was engaged, fully here. But doubt still crept in, nagging her. Could he keep this up? Would this new version of him hold up against the world outside this park? As they began to gather their things to leave, a stillness settled over Maya. It wasn't just about today, it was about everything that lay ahead. Their journey was just getting started, and there were challenges waiting around every corner. She gazed across at Kevin, who caught her eye and returned her look with a smile. It was real, it was hopeful, and it felt fragile. But what lay ahead? What would happen when life began to push back? Maya took a deep breath, ready to confront whatever awaited them together. Would they be able to brace against the storm, or would it sweep them apart once more? Maya stood in the park, nestled between the laughter of her sister Lila and the animated chatter of the friends they'd just made. Daylight faded into golden hues, casting a warm glow as her heart swelled with a blend of hope and trepidation. Today felt like a turning point, a choice had been made. She stole a glance at Kevin, whose laughter now flowed freely, weaving into the fabric of joy and togetherness that surrounded them. "Did you see me?" Lila chirped, her eyes sparkling as she recounted how she'd tagged Kevin during their lively game. "I ran so fast. You should have seen it." Her innocence wrapped around Maya like a comforting blanket, contrasting sharply with the weight that had lingered in her heart just hours before when Kevin had approached her. Just the idea of stepping into a new world felt daunting, but now, it also felt right. Cautiously, Kevin turned to Maya, his face flushed from the exertion of the game mixed with the thrill of acceptance. "I can't believe how amazing they are," he said, breaking through her thoughts. "It's refreshing." He was a different man today, the childlike wonder of laughter blooming on his face, and she hoped it would hold. Maya felt something shift inside her, a burgeoning trust blossoming through the uncertainty that had followed their encounter. But would that trust stand the test of time? She couldn't shake the ghosts of their past, they often lurked just behind her gratitude, waiting for moments like this. As they packed up to depart, Lila dashed off toward the playground swings, her laughter trailing behind like music in the air. "Come on. Let us race," she shouted before vaulting onto the swings. Maya couldn't help but chuckle, Lila never tired of speed. Kevin followed Lila, his spirit lightening with each step as he was swept back into the innocence of childhood joy. Maya stood back a moment, letting it wash over her, feeling lighter amidst her worries. But she had also learned not to let her guard down completely. The echoes of their past lingered. What is next? She wondered silently, scanning the park filled with families enjoying the dusk. What could this new chapter mean? Sitting alone on a nearby bench, she watched as Kevin and Lila played, her heart torn between joy and the gnawing edge of doubt. Just then, a familiar voice broke through her reverie. "Hey, Maya. You were incredible today." Sam approached with a radiant smile, his enthusiasm infectious. "You really should be seen it from the sidelines. You lit up the room, the way you delivered your speech." Maya felt the warmth of his encouragement seep into her. "Thanks, Sam," she replied, though her mind didn't completely settle. It was just one step. No, it was huge. You're making waves, not just for yourself but for everyone on the sidelines. Your voice matters. Sam continued, his excitement mirroring the hope swelling within her. And now, Kevin seems different. Look at him. She turned her gaze towards Kevin, whose laughter soared as he pushed Lila on the swing. A warmth spread in her heart. Perhaps, just maybe, he had changed. "Let us not get too ahead of ourselves," Maya cautioned, but she couldn't deny the flutter of optimism filling her thoughts. "There's still a long way to go, that's the journey." Sam replied with a grin. "You don't have to do it all at once. Just take things as they come." He leaned closer, dropping his voice. "Trust your gut. You have the strength for this." As darkness settled in around them, Maya felt a glimmer of resolve shimmer through the clouds of uncertainty. "You're right," she finally admitted, adrenaline racing through her. "It's about the small steps." With one last glance at Kevin and Lila, who were caught in a whirlwind of laughter, Maya stood confidently. "Let us do this. Tonight represents a fresh start." Determined to face her fears, she jogged toward them, her heart alive with newfound courage. No longer were they running from hurt or fear, they were embracing each moment, each challenge, as they unfolded together. "Hey! You too!" Maya called out, eyes shining, as she approached them with a heart laid bare. Can we plan something for next weekend? Maybe a family picnic or an outing with friends? I want us all to spend time together, to build not just trust but bonds that can withstand everything. Kevin's eyes lit up with excitement. Absolutely. Count me in. Lila squealed with delight, pumping her fists in the air. Yes. I love picnics. Maya felt that familiar warmth bloom inside her again. A spark of hope ignited the air, affirming that they would all be part of this journey forward. Standing shoulder to shoulder, a trio ready to take on the world, Maya chose to look forward, facing the unknown with strength and belief. If they could conquer the past's shadows together, they could navigate the bright possibilities lying ahead. Each step would be essential, woven with laughter, love, and the promise of new beginnings. As they walked home together, a sense of strength surrounded them. The night was filled with the sounds of family and joy, a symphony of healing in the making. Now, as this journey continues, believe in the power of change and growth, and remember, it's never too late to rewrite your story. Don't wait one more second. You need to subscribe now, so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that inspire change and journey. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, showing your support for the incredible transformations we continue to share. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. You might just inspire someone else to embrace their own journey, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. They won't want to miss it either. Together, we can empower each other to rise.